I really want to talk about this. Let me see if I can find the right tweet. Oh, here we are. I would like to offend all of the feminists real quick with this tweet that I have.
Right.
So this is my offensive tweet. As you know, today, Kamala Harris assumed the role of acting president, the powers of the president, for I believe about 2 hours, was it? And I thought about this. I was thinking about, everyone tweeting, Madam President, Kamala Harris is now the president. And then I was like, what a way to gain the power of the presidency. So here's what I tweeted. The first woman with the power of the presidency will forever go down in history as receiving her power due to the sitting president getting his ass examined.
Wow.
So the story was Biden had to go for a colonoscopy and go under anesthesia, which means the power of the presidency had to be transferred to the vice president temporarily. Everyone then said, this is it, the first woman with the power of the presidency. And I'm like, man, that's awful historical precedent.
Yikes. Right.
Imagine a school where the teacher's like, does anybody know how our first president gained his power? Ooh, George Washington. He was leading the revolution against the British for independence. That's right. And what about our first female president? Ooh, the sitting old white male president had to get his butt examined, so she temporarily gained the powers. Great. And it's like,
why do we know this? Why is this public information? TMI.
Yeah, honestly.
Why is it public information?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if someone were to attack us in those 2 hours, you maybe want to know who has the button or who's in power.
But why do we need to know that it's a colonoscopy?
Just imagine this. Kamala Harris is, standing in the hallway of the hospital. Biden walks up, right up to her, holding the nuclear football, and he goes, Madam Vice President. She goes, Mr. President, the nuclear football is yours for 2 hours. Let's get this butt stuff done.
Oh, God.
Didn't you say that Trump didn't go under general anesthetic so that he could have his colonoscopy and not have to pass power on?
That's the story.
So
I'm not going to act like I've deeply fact-tested with the doctors, but the report was Trump didn't want to hand over power to Pence, so he took the colonoscopy without anesthesia.
Gritted his teeth and went in dry.
You don't have to go. Maybe it's different with age, but you actually don't have to go under when you do a colonoscopy. It's not like a requirement.
As you get older, that's going to be slack anyway, isn't it? It's just going to fall straight up there.
I mean, it's clearly to figure out why he's been pooping his pants, right?
That makes sense.
Like that's the reason.
I don't want him to have colon cancer.
I bet they pushed the butt story because they didn't want people to think it was neurological.
Yeah,
maybe
that's true.
So. Yeah.
Because maybe it was something different.
Is this a false flag?
False flag event? But Ian, I think you're actually wrong because we've had 2 butt stories. We have 3 butt stories now with Joe Biden.
It's a lot of butt stories.
Yeah, there was the long fart.
Right.
So this is interesting.
I will spit my water out.
Okay, hold on. We did a segment a year and a half ago, or a year or so, because Joe Biden was on TV and he farted.
Yeah.
It's like you play it and you hear and it was nasty. So when this news story came out in the past week or so that this Camille Duchess said Joe Biden let out a really long fart, all of a sudden I'm looking at the analytics on our YouTube channel and we see this spike in views on a video from a year ago and it's Joe Biden farts and we were like, oh. But then there's also Joe Biden met with the Pope, I believe, right?
Yeah.
He was supposed to have a meeting and then he was supposed to come out, but something happened where he disappeared for a half an hour and then came out with new clothes on. Mm-hmm. And so people thought he had he pooped his pants.
Bathroom incident.
No, hold on. I don't think there's evidence to suggest that was the case. He may have spilled wine on his shirt, right? And they were like, what do I do? And he can't go out with a wine stain.
Doesn't take that long to get changed, though.
Half an hour?
It was
so what are you saying, take a shower?
Yeah. I mean, there's speculation. We're speculating.
I'll put it this way. We get a story about a fart. Maybe that was the lead up to failing, rectal muscle or whatever.
Yeah,
then we get the accusations that he pooped his pants. Now we're hearing he's getting a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everybody. It's routine. It's routine. I think he's got butt problems.
Ask
100%.
This is Ask
Don't open those gates.
If I was Kamala, I would not brag about this or let this be my legacy.
No.
Talk about the time that you were president for 2 hours because of that. I'd be like, just run again, Kamala. I don't like you, so maybe don't run again. But
I got another bit.
Oh boy.
There's going to be kids in school, and they're going to be watching a video the teacher's going to put on, and it's going to be Abraham Lincoln. I was president during the Americans, during the American Civil War, fighting to keep the Union together and end the moral injustice of slavery. It was a contested election, but I fought hard to preserve the Union. And they're going to flip to the next page. I'm Kamala Harris. I assumed the powers of the presidency because the president above me had to get his butt examined after farting and pooping his pants. Legacy.
Glorious.
This is Camilla Parker Bowles is the woman.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah. It was unavoidable, apparently. She was very embarrassed.
I mean, this is. Look at this. We have Politico,
No.
Joe Biden's fart, and what is this? Okay, Joe Biden's fart and other embarrassing royal moments for Americans. U.S. president lets rip at COP26 meeting with Kamala.
You're crapping on my nation here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the puns.
Ugh.
You know, at some point, puns were like the epitome of humor.
Yes, they still are. Timothy.
I like them.
I guess.
Sure,
I like them,
are.
the puns.
They're great, yeah.
I don't want to be too hard on this guy for ripping ass. We all do it. Everyone's experienced.
You sound like a guilty party here.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely guilty.
I
I've been
thought I
through it.
smelled something.
I'm happy.
Not
I'm happy
tonight,
you're not sitting next to me tonight.
Stop, you guys.
Stop, you guys.
Nice to
Quit
Ian.
it.
Look. I'll actually say, yeah, I don't want to come down on an old man,
He's just old. It's
For
okay.
pooping his pants.
Yeah, it's all right.
but come on. If you're at the point where you're having bathroom accidents,
Then maybe you shouldn't be president.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Maybe.
it.
I don't know.
What about those control pants?
Yeah, that depends.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Well,
sure,
they
why
actually
not?
don't they sell like adult elderly clothes that have
Biden edition.
Built in.
Yeah, by
built in
diapers.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, like
Adult
I
briefs.
understand incontinence, like if you have to buy diapers because you wet yourself and stuff. But if you're pooping in your pants,
You have bigger issues.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's not something you look. If you're wearing a diaper and you pee your pants, you piss yourself. No one's really gonna notice. You'll be uncomfortable. But if you take that dump,
But
people
doo-doo?
are gonna smell that,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, oh, like what?
It's
Wow.
offensive.
It's very.
It
offensive.
And I will
Yeah.
say, she did get the presidential power a lot sooner than I thought. I thought he'd at least make it to midterms
Hold
without
on.
having to hand it over.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
didn't make it.
I just had a realization. I'm gonna walk all this back.
Oh,
What?
This is great. We have the
Okay.
best president ever.
What's that?
Think about it.
I'm thinking.
Joe Biden walks in to meet with Kim Jong-un. They've been doing nuclear tests. He walks in and Kim Jong-un is thinking like, I'm going to handle this negotiation. They got nothing. Oh!
Yeah, you can't get the smell out of the wall.
Dirty
It's there
bomb.
forever.
That's a dirty bomb.
Dirty
And then
bomb,
Biden
yes.
sits down and says, I can sit here all day. And Kim Jong-un's like, no, whatever you want, please.
We just have to weaponize the doo-doo.
That's right.
We have to use it for our advantage.
It's not the
for
doo-doo that's
relations.
dangerous. It's the bacteria that grows on it.
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
everyone's
it's all
clear,
gross.
too.
Yeah.
But Biden's going to be like, he's like, I can sit
I
here for
got all
hours.
day.
I got all day
I'll
to
fall
sit here.
asleep. Oh yeah.
And then like he meets with Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin's like, this is not funny anymore.
Because then when it gets in the walls, the smell, every time you smell it, you remember that
Biden-
moment.
Biden's
muscle
like,
memory.
Ian, why have you thought this through so
Yeah,
much?
what
I've been through it, man. I've been
Yeah,
through
you
it.
went through a whole narrative.
I've known a lot of people.
Biden-
man.
Thing, yeah.
Biden's sitting with like Vladimir Putin, and they're looking at each other, and then Biden just starts shuffling his butt in the chair,
Oh, no.
and then Putin's like, my chair, stop! And then everyone's like, oh, they're holding their noses, and they're like, we give anything you want, please just leave.
Right.
Maybe that's what it
great,
was when
yeah.
he met with the Pope. He was like, I got some demands, Pope, and the Pope was like, I don't have time. Oh,
Oh.
no, I'm kidding. I'm not
This is
confident.
depressing.
You know what? It feels like. I think it's really obvious what happens. People hated Donald Trump.
Yep.
The Atlantic writes that story. Stay alive, Joe Biden. All we need is your corporeal form. People vote for anything. They would vote for a ham sandwich at that point, and they literally voted in a guy that we all knew was decrepit and incapable. The Onion has that very funny article where it says presidency already ages Joe Biden 10 years, and it shows a rotted corpse. Like, just that was their image.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even The Onion was like, dude, this guy's too old to be president.
Yeah, every leftist I know concedes that. There's none. I don't know many leftists who are like, yeah, he's doing
great.
good. He's on top of his game. Power at full. No, he's old and he's fading away, and it's sad. And it's somewhat elder abuse to put him in that position. But
Yes, definitely.
Especially if you watch video from like even 8 years ago of him. He's
even
a-
just a few years ago,
Yeah,
I watched
man.
an interview with him recently where he was on The View because I like torturing myself. I watched a clip of The
Indeed.
View, and like it was, I think, in 2018. And he was there, like he was
Sharp,
talking.
yeah.
But the older you get, the faster you decline. 2 years is like 10 when you're that old.
The difference between whatever it was 30, 40 years ago at his absolute peak and now is crazy. He was really sharp.
Yeah,
Right.
And they're- and
Crazy
it's,
sharp.
it's crazy. They're like, yeah, he has a stutter, and I'm like, no, he's got something. He's got
old.
dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old, man.
I interviewed him before about some deep down the rabbit hole stuff, and he was on it. He was like, this was a few years ago, and he was, like he was lying, but he was lying on a level where other politicians weren't even that competent to lie as quickly and as effectively as he did. So there's been multiple incidences where I was kind of surprised at how well he is up there. Now, I think, there's a lot of people being like, they're just bringing out different versions of him out every day. because there's always something. There's always an incident that shows how much of in decline he is, and it's kind of sad to see, really. To be
You know how
honest
there's
with you.
those rumors about the presidents having body doubles and stuff like
Yeah.
that? That's a bad gig, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could see it. Yeah,
That's a
be
bad
terrible.
gig being Joe Biden's.
But if you have a
body
president, like if you have a president who's not there, wouldn't you want to use the body double many times?
What was that?
Right.
Remember that weird photo of Hillary Clinton that just did not look like Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
I
after she
remember that.
collapsed.
When she,
Yeah.
oh my god, that
She
was such a
collapsed,
moment. I forgot
and
about
then she collapsed, and then there was another moment where she had a small child run up to her, and then it came out she had, I think, a infectious disease.
Oh, that's
and,
right.
then, and then she was waving and like brought a little child in to do a
Whoa.
little PR, and then she
Gross.
stood very far away from the camera, and there was a lot of physical and facial differences than what she normally looked like.
Remember that video where she spits up into her glass?
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah,
So
she was like doing a
gross.
speech. Yeah, she they were like she has pneumonia. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think she probably did have pneumonia.
Yeah.
I could
But
see
like
it.
trying to hide it and campaign through
It's
that
weird.
was gross and dangerous.
Brutal.
Here's my
yeah.
question though, because as we're talking about these old politicians fading away, how in any reality does Joe Biden make it through even one full term? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to say I wish anything, but like, we're not even halfway through his first year. We are halfway through his first year. How?
Mushrooms.
Well,
no.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
DMT.
we're a
That's the
couple months
answer.
away from 1 year for Biden.
Yeah.
And people are
Amphetamines?
already like, is he going to be president next year? Like,
Yeah, we don't
is he going to have
know.
to step down?
Yeah, and this degree of uncertainty is really not good for us because, like, we're already really uncertain. We're already not friends with our neighbors. Putting someone, this was always elder abuse from the beginning. I was like,
I
yo, this
agree.
Well,
is a
I think
bad
they're just
idea.
using Biden as a way to ram through all the horrible
Of
policies
course, yeah.
that any other president would be. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is crazy. I think the only way they could push this nonsense is with someone who's not really there.
Yeah,
House
And I
definitely.
think they're using him as this kind of fall guy at the end of his career. He's been a career politician, ram everything that's extremely unpopular, that's going to tank his numbers, and he's the Frankenstein president.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
The rumor is they're gonna leapfrog Buttigieg over Harris for 2024.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
My
Bill's like
God.
Obama. He
Yeah.
talks like Obama. He's
Buttigieg
got
doesn't
that
have what it
cadence.
takes.
He doesn't have the
has
charisma.
no, but he
nothing.
does have the CIA connections.
It doesn't matter.
You
like,
still need charisma,
They
right?
didn't think Trump was going to win, and the reason Trump did is because he'd be up on stage, and they'd be like, "A question for Mr. Rubio. Rubio, you said that you'd like to raise taxes." And Trump would go, excuse me, no, little Marco, you'll get your time. We're going to talk about the work," and he just shut everybody down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what is he doing? Like, this is not how the game is played. And they didn't know how to play play checkers against a guy who was playing chess. I'm not going to pretend Trump was playing 4D chess. My point is, Trump was just on a different level.
Yeah.
And they had
Buttigieg
no
doesn't
idea.
have the balls.
No. he
But then
does not.
again,
He was
leftists-
mayor of a small town in Indiana,
Yeah.
But Kamala's a non-starter as well, though, right?
right?
Oh,
Gosh,
definitely.
so
Absolutely.
much. Yeah.
Backed into a corner. So what happens? Roll it forward. What do you think the Democrats do?
The only
Newsom?
thing I'm rethinking a
Michelle
little bit
Obama.
though
Yeah.
that they would be fully
yeah, I
like
heard
Buttigieg
that.
might have a chance because leftists are very concerned with appropriateness. They're very concerned with people who can just say the right things, regurgitate talking points, be very proper. Like maybe.
Oh, and they'll push the gay narrative.
Oh, yeah,
for
of
sure.
course.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
what's going to be. It's going to be the
I-
first openly gay president.
That's right.
Yes,
You
but
can't criticize him.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I believe that we're entering a period where people would vote for a ham sandwich over a Democrat.
I think so.
With that New Jersey state senator guy we talk about all the time. And I think people have just, this has been a bad year. It's been
Yeah.
a bad year. And the media doesn't want to admit it. And diehard urban Democrats don't want to admit it either. But inflation. Do you see that tweet where it was like, experts are shocked that inflation is happening?
How shocking.
Right.
And it's like, how are the expert economists shocked when like random grandpa online, like Grandpa Joe 33 is like, there's inflation and I'm mad about it.
I saw like random like not even super intellectual people like 9 months ago being like inflation's coming, get ready y'all. It's like, so what are the experts doing then?
Yeah. Not paying
Lying.
attention.
Right.
Buying
Yep.
gold.
Lying.
Yeah, they do. They lie up until like the week.
Why
That's what they do
inflation?
This
during
was
the
The
Great Election.
Economist. The Economist ran that headline. They were like, sharp increases in inflation blindsided many economists.
Wrongly
Almost
named.
no one saw it coming. I'm like, yeah, bull crap.
What have you been doing?
Yeah, this
What
is
have you
The
been doing?
Economist.
It's getting
mind-boggling.
It's getting to the point where I see the word expert and I think, okay, so an idiot.
Yeah.
Which it's not how it should be. We should have faith in the system and we should have faith in the people that we prop up to like guide us through certain things. But it's just not how it is anymore.
It's like You've got random dude yelling at camera predicts inflation. That's me. I'm like sitting in my room and I'm like, man, if they print all this money and borrow this money, it's gonna be inflation.
Right.
It's
Hey,
coming.
look at that.
And then the experts are like, he's certainly wrong. And then a year goes by and they're like, we're shocked by this. And I'm just sitting
Right.
here like, dude, you're just lying.
Yeah, you look at what Fauci did with the masks in the very beginning of the pandemic, and they told people you don't need them; they're not effective because they didn't want to instill a panic and a rush on the masks. They do the same thing with the economy. During the Great Depression, right up until the stock market crashed, they were saying everything's gonna be fine, everything's great, it's better than it's ever been.
In
Buy
2008.
stock. Yeah, they were. It was like 1929. I'm talking about. But
Oh, no, I know, I agree. But I'm saying in 2007,
Also in
and they're like,
2008,
everything's fine, everything's fine.
and then it crashes, and they're like, oh,
Oh, snap.
yeah, oh.
How did this happen?
well, and then they all kind of like look at their watches and like kind of try and diffuse the blame. I mean, who are you going to blame about it? It's hard to blame someone for the entire economy.
The reason they do it is because they're like, hey, we know the apocalypse is here financially, but if we tell people, it'll happen faster. So just sell, sell now and then let it crash and then buy back.
Yeah.
And that's what they do every time.
How nice.
Nancy Pelosi, I love those TikTokers that track her stock purchases. They're
Incredible.
like, just buy what she does because she's as corrupt as they come.
She's got
Right.
the inside track, man.
Oh,
She knows
for
what's
Well,
happening.
they passed the laws. They know what bill is about to get passed, and so they're like, "Hey, the news about this tech firm getting, getting fined, or getting shut down because of our new bill is going to hurt the stock. Short them."
And it's going to help their competitors, so you invest in their competitors.
That's right.
There's people on TikTok making entire careers off of Nancy Pelosi picks, which have higher dividends than Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's wild.
Why aren't I doing that?
Yeah, it's a good
I need
idea.
I was just gonna say I need to look at these TikToks.
Yeah.
Millennial financial advisors. What we do in your portfolio is very simple. We follow Nancy Pelosi
Exactly.
and
Heck
invest
yeah.
as she does.
That's literally what happens.
God.
I
That's
know.
how.
That's one of the
horrifying.
horsemen of the apocalypse.
Pelosi.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, it's a crazy country we live in. But, I will say, today, white pill, right? So they're
Yeah.
saying.
Good day.
We're all fairly optimistic. We look at what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. Justice was served. Kyle should not have been on trial in the first place. That's why I say the whole thing's fairly a net negative. But gun right victories.
Yes.
The right to keep and bear arms. The gun charge dismissed. We're seeing it across the board. Demands for gun control is the lowest it's been, I think, since like 2014. People are just saying, and liberals too, young millennials, Gen Z, because even on the left, they're pro-gun. Gun
This
rights.
is why we're not going to become Australia. No matter how bad things
Yep.
get here, we're not going to become Australia.
Yep.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.